Okay, and in our last grammar lesson, we learned about auxiliaries or helping verbs. In this grammar video, we are going to learn about diagramming interrogatory sentences or sentences that are questions. Now is a really good time to learn this because these sentences often include helping verbs or auxiliaries. So let's look at the sentence. Steve should run. Okay. Now notice if we swap the words Steve and should, if we put the auxiliary at the beginning of the sentence reads, should Steve run? Which is now a question. So if you notice, often to create a question, all we need to do is put the auxiliary at the beginning of the sentence. But when I tell you now to go ahead in this question and circle the verb, it's confusing because run is a verb and should is the auxiliary of the verb, and so it's not possible to circle the verb with its auxiliary together without accidentally circling the noun as well. So if I were to present to you at first from the get-go the sentence Steve, let's go ahead and write it out. Should Steve run? You should know that the first thing you should do is to rewrite this sentence as a statement. Steve should run. The reason for this is our tree diagram, whether a statement is whether a sentence is a question or a statement, is the same. So whenever you see a question statement, see if you can rewrite it as a question sentence. See if you can rewrite it as a sentence, because this will make diagramming it much easier. So in this sentence, we would rewrite it. Steve should run. We would circle our verb with its auxiliary, should run. Draw a line between our noun phrase and our verb phrase. Underline our noun, and then go ahead and diagram the sentence. S for sentence, NP, VP for noun phrase verb phrase. Our noun is Steve. Our verb phrase has two parts of speech, an auxiliary and a verb. Our auxiliary is should, and our verb is run. Okay, so let's look at a couple, probably two more examples of questions and see how we would do this. Let's look at one that starts with the word who. Who should go? We are at a birthday party and we realize that we forgot the candles for the cake. However, everyone wants to stay, and we ask who should go. Who should go shopping for us? In this sentence, let's see if we can rewrite this as a statement. The only other way to rewrite it is to say, should who go? But that's almost more of a question form than the sentence as it stands. Who should go? In fact, this sentence as it stands is as close as we're going to get. And who is our noun? So let's go ahead and circle our verb, which is go with its auxiliary should. Draw a line between our verb phrase and our noun phrase and underline our noun. Words like who and what are nouns. Even though they make a sentence a question, it is a noun. Who represents someone that we don't know. We just don't have a name to put there, so we say who. So to diagram this sentence, we would do S for sentence, noun phrase, verb phrase. Our noun is who. Our verb phrase has two parts of speech, an auxiliary and a verb. our auxiliary is should, and our verb is go. Okay, so let's look at another example. One last example, and then I'll give you 2 sentences to try on your own. Let's say grass might. We actually need to make this a question. Might grass grow? Let's actually say might weeds grow. So you just cleared out a plot of land because you're going to plant flowers, and you don't have flowers and realize that you need to wait a week before you can actually go and get the flowers, and you ask your partner, well, might weeds grow in that fresh dirt? Before we diagram the sentence, because again we want to be able to circle the verb with its auxiliaries, and might is the auxiliary, and our noun is between our auxiliary and our verb, so we need to rewrite this sentence as a statement. How would we do that? Try answering the question. Yeah, weeds might grow. Let's go ahead and diagram our, or indicate the parts of speech. Circle our verb with its auxiliary. Draw a line between our noun phrase and our verb phrase, and underline our noun. S for sentence, NP and VP for noun phrase and verb phrase. There is our noun, weeds, and our verb phrase has an auxiliary and a verb. Our auxiliary is might, and our verb is grow. There you go. Let's do one more example, and then I'm going to, well, actually, let's go ahead and have you diagram some sentences on your own. So to start with, let's do a who sentence, or a what. What might happen? Okay, so go ahead and you're going to indicate the parts of speech. Remember to rewrite the sentence as a statement if possible. Mark the parts of speech and then diagram the sentence. So go ahead and pause this video now, and on a separate piece of paper complete the sentence diagram. Okay. As you approach this sentence, you realize that what, again, is the noun here. Might is its auxiliary, the verb, or the auxiliary to the verb, and so because might is right next to the verb, we do not need to rewrite the sentence as a statement. It is as close to a statement as this sentence is going to get. So let's go ahead and draw a line between our noun phrase and our verb phrase. We circle our verb phrase, might happen, and we underline our noun, what. Now you should have marked it like this. You should have drawn noun phrase and verb phrase in your diagram. And for noun, what is our noun? And in your verb phrase, you should have an auxiliary and a verb. Your auxiliary is might, and your verb is happen. Okay, so you should have diagrammed the sentence like this. Let me give you one last sentence to diagram, and then we'll be done for today's lesson. In just a minute, after you finish diagramming, this sentence, might we be finished? But let's actually say it this way. May. So you say, Mr. Jones, as soon as we're finished, or as soon as we do this diagram, may we be finished? That's a question. So go ahead and again pause this video, rewrite the sentence as a statement if possible, mark the parts of speech, and then draw your tree diagram. Go ahead and pause the video now. Okay, you should have rewritten this sentence because it can be rewritten. We is the noun, let's put that first. We may be finished. So I answer your question, yes, after we diagram this sentence, we may be finished. It's not a question, it's a statement. Now you should have marked your sentence like this, the line between your noun phrase and your verb phrase. You should have circled your verb with its auxiliaries and underlined the noun, we. S for sentence, NP for noun phrase, VP for verb phrase. In your noun phrase, you only have one part of speech, a noun, which is we. In your verb phrase, you have three parts of speech, two auxiliaries, and a verb. Your first auxiliary is may, your second auxiliary is be, and your verb is finished. And there you go. Okay, go ahead and complete your assignment for the week. You'll be able to practice with 4 sentences we've provided, and you will write your own sentence in this form. So go ahead and complete that assignment. If you have any questions, rewatch this video or ask your teacher.